A pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana, the diaspora, and elsewhere. Friends all. Today I sit down here with a lot of feelings for what I read on the news and what I'm hearing every day, people calling me and telling me. Sometimes I don't know which way to start, how to start, and why all these things are happening in a country that only have a population of 700 or something thousand people, when knowing two major races are fighting for power. And what is amazing, one is holding on to emancipation but yet not going back to Africa. And the other one maybe just arrived. I'd like to know when those visas are going to run out. Or do they get permanent status? Why am I saying these things? English language is a very nice language, but it's very complicated for those who don't understand it. I have so many things to talk about. At times I don't know where to begin, because everything I have to say only based upon the two major races. The East Indian descendant, which I'm a part of, the African descendant, which I'm another part of. I wonder sometimes if these people ever sit and think what they are doing to the nation and the futures of their children. Guyana in the 50s was a different country from now. Thanks to the late Jerry Jagan and Burnham, the two diseases that brought about the changes. In those days of the 50s, East Indian and blacks were living so good, like brothers and sisters, until come these two diseases. Both are for power. The uneducated blacks, the illiterate ones, as much as the Indian, believe that Jagan and Burnham had hate each other. And yes, the division begins, Indian for Indian, blacks for blacks. But one must understand how it's all begin. And the PNC have never won an election, ladies and gentlemen. It was a coalition government put them in power. And I have somebody whose name I will not mention, stated, why are the Portuguese run away with their money? Friends, Portuguese is also European. Did they run away with no money? They leave Guyana and go to Canada, America, and elsewhere, where fellow humans like themselves think alike and can work alike. Guyana under Burnham and Jagan is a different society. Indians believe that they have a right to rule and they are more superior than the other race. Blacks believe that because their ancestors were slaves, they are having all rights to rule Guyana. Well, both of you are wrong. We tried, the black race was a lot of disaster against other races. People suffer. People suffer because of that. Raping, killing, and a lot of wrongful things that happen. My friends, under Burnham was a different person from Mr. Hoyt, Desmond Hughes Hoyt. It is so amazing that you, the blacks, who living in Georgetown and the most cities where you are the majority, cannot see that these leaders, such as Burnham and Jagan, don't mean any good for none of you. As much as the Indian in the Indian neighborhood. Why it have to be like that? If you were living in Uganda, you would have had to leave. If some of you were living as blacks in another country, you would have had to leave with that attitude. But Guyana, a great country. You all are lucky that America and England do not make the Jews came to Guyana. But it would have been better for progress. They would have known how to deal with the oil, the gold, the diamond, and also they would have known how to deal with the indigenous people and the troublemakers and the thieves, the rapists, the killers. Because Black people believe you have a right. And I'm saying this, I don't mean all of you because there's difference amongst you. So you know who I'm talking about. As the parrot say, who they can't fit, let they wear it. And the Indian, same thing. They're good and bad amongst both of you. There are so many things happening under the Burnham government and still happening until today. Too many people, young men are killing their women, burning house, doing all kind of things, you Indians. If you do not want the young woman, leave them alone and go your way. Why kill them? Maybe they have children for you. Why destroy the mother of your children? And you will be destroyed. Excuse me. I want you all to know clearly, this is not the old days. This is modern time. There are so many women for man. If you don't want one, leave for God's sake. Don't kill them. Then human trafficking. Some places in Kitty or Lodge or Bel Air or somewhere, there's a family and some people who are kidnapping women. It's alleged according to information. And the police, them are doing nothing about it because the government is not strong against it. I believe that if there is a human trafficker in Guyana, man or woman, and get caught, they must be tried, and if found guilty, execute. And if they retaliate, execute the whole family. I believe in that. Because that's our training. But do not interfere with peaceful people. And for you, the blacks who love to demonstrate, beat up people, break up style, burn cars, let it be known to you. With this phone, someone got you, big money will be paying for your head. Because there's no justice in Guyana. You know what's amazing? You, the black man in Guyana under Burnham, you support South Africa against the apartheid system. You send soldiers to Mozambique and Angola, if I remember clearly, it's alleged. And you talking about national unity in a country where there are 6 races. Did you send any soldiers to Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India? No, you send me black people like yourself are. Whatever is your excuse, and I want you to know, excuse is a stepping stone for a thief and a loser. So I don't buy it. What you do for one, you should do for the others. Right, my friends? I have seen a lot. Under the late past Burnham, we had the Jim Jones tragedy. But Roma has it that after Ryan arrived that fateful day with the cameramen, the news reporters, and went to Jonestown, they lost their life because what he had discovered would not have been nice for the Guyana government under the late past Burnham. Because Roma has it, it's alleged, military personnel, ministers in government used to go there and take part in their sexual habits. And Jim Jones don't care because he was granting VIP treatment, such as Washington Rabbi. But under Desmond Hoyt, it was different. Under the late Chetty Jagan, well, he died in the first term. But 2 things he had promised, and he did not fulfill, so God take him out. 1, to change the Constitution. And when he becomes the leader, he was asked, he said he didn't take back seat as a president. And therefore, he was out. Too many things had happened. Under Mrs. Jagan, she had no respect for the court. She tear up the paper and throw it out. Under Barra Jack Dio, too many killing from Princess Street to the Bacchus family and others. And After Priya Manichan insult the ongoing ambassador who was leaving Guyana, she was not wrong, ladies and gentlemen, but she chose the wrong place. It wasn't the right place to speak to the man like that, for he is a servant of the United States, and he was only doing his job as much as she was doing her job. But that was not the place. Not long after that, the PPP had to be changed, and David Granger was appointed. And just because he says a terrorist was a hero, Kabir Mohammed Ali Parliament, I heard, is alleged, he said it there, and Mackenzie, it's alleged, he had to be removed because no one would try to hurt the mainland of the United States. Fathers and mothers of freedom and democracy. And you turn back and throw that in their face, David, you had to go. And after Jimmy Carter do what he had to do, he had diarrhea, he came in morning leave. This is what happened. So we know the deal. That's why I always says America gets what America wants. But Guyana do not have a court system. It is one of the most corrupt court systems in the entire universe. Especially where there are 6 multiracial nations living in it. And therefore, if India have done that, they are Indians. If Africa do that, they are Africans. But when you do those kind of practice in a country with more than one race, it is considered a blatant act of terrorism and fear against the other race. And you all might make all kind of excuse, but there is a God. He don't discriminate. He's slow but sure. Look what happened now after the Jim Jones problem. Barry Jack with all the flood. He and Kabi was in boat sharing water, and there was on water and food, pretending to be Indian Jesus and Black Jesus or whoever, I don't know. Maybe Ram, Gandhi, I don't know. But there's a God. Then a certain leader marry a woman, later to put her out with her suitcase, it's alleged, and claim he never married her. From the exception of the marriage, I told people that's a marriage of convenience. But time will prove it. And today, bring me to understand what goes on. I asked the Indian and the African descendants, both of you came like me, I got both of your blood in me, from different walks of life. And you always speak about emancipation. Did the European, as white man, as you say, did he kidnap you? No. Your ancestors sold you to him instead of killing out your ancestors. Because it was a tribal affair. And they sell the whole family out. Today all of you are the beneficiary of many great things. And I keep repeating it for you all to know. Great dancers, musicians, saxophone players, pilots, scientists, doctors, actors and actresses, soccer player, football player making millions and billions. Y'all are some of the greatest. But will you go back to Africa and share your wealth with the present generation who's there? No. You blame them for what happened, and they are not the one. They have problem too with the present leaders. Check it out. My friends, today I want you all to tell me what goes on here. Why the indigenous people, the Amerindian, is treated like they are nobody in their own country, under the blacks and under the Indians. Under the blacks with the late Fast Burnham, it's alleged, some Amerindian told me, I wasn't there, their land was taken away from Burnham. And under the PPP, Sioux and others, it's alleged, they get concession to work gold and diamond and other minerals, whatever it is, on the Amerindian land. And then Amerindian got to buy land in their own country under the great emancipators and unrivaled grandchildren and children. Is that fair? If you people get a chance into their heaven and God fall asleep, the Almighty take him and throw him out. The Almighty slave him. Friends, it's a shame. Whatever crime you all do shall come back to your doorstep. Right, Nakamoto? Right, Ramsatan? And all of you in the courthouse, judges and magistrates, if you are a woman, some of you will not even have hands to wash your private parts because it will smell so high, you got rotten once you're alive. For your all wicked, devious treacherousness for a dollar bill and a position, locking up innocent people. And for those who order it, because they are ministers, they shall eat the filth that cometh from their ass, and their children shall run mad and eat from the garbage. All of you. For my God is a better judge than anyone you have in the courthouse. Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. There are some honorable judges, man and woman, in the courthouse. I don't want to name some of them because they may be in trouble because of the political fools who may want to use it against them. So I will withhold their name for now. But there are several good, black and Indian alike. But I call upon the United Nations, America, England, Canada, and elsewhere, and CARICOM heads of government to look into Guyana affair and call for an investigation towards the death of the Amerindian children in the Durham at Madhya. Roma has it, as it's alleged, that the minister, whoever he is, that been accused for an Amerindian 15-year girl of sexual attitude, and the way he treat her, handle her, put her in pain, and she says she scratch him or dig him and the nail is there, if I remember right on the news. I want to look into it, and I want to ask question. Did that young man ever had access to the Durhams at Madhya? And if so be the case, with what happened in Madhya with the Durham, was a fire to cover up the crime that was committed by some corrupt policemen, as it was alleged, and ministers also on both sides of the fence. Again, it's alleged that that was their private whorehouse from people in Madhya. I don't know, it's alleged. I asked many questions. But what sparked this young 15-year Amerindian girl to tell such a story, unless she blatantly lied on this innocent man? As they say, you're always innocent until proven guilty. But I ask again, who will be trying who? You, the PNC, and others have a tendency of threatening your opponent politically. The election commissioner, the U.S. ambassador, and you want people to come to your corner. You operate more than the tribal relative in Africa. And thanks to Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael, Farrakhan, Martin Luther King, and many, y'all hold on to dignity and honor and respect, but y'all went the wrong way. Martin Luther King had a dream, like everybody else had a dream. But I, George Correa, have a vision. A vision that when there's no black leaders and Indian in Guyana, and the native woman or man of the country, which is a indigenous person, man or woman, will be the leader of their own country, administrated by the rest. Many people told me, and I give it clear, quote unquote, They mock people, soon you're drunk, them everything done. They live recklessly. They have no respect. And they get drunk every day. Well, friend, Irish drink plenty too. There nobody drink more than Mexican and Indians, okay? So get that clear. And not because the people may have a hang-up. You who think you're more intelligent, picking up the Ramayana, the Quran and the Bible and talk about Allah, Bhagwan and God, done them more wrong than Shaitan, Satan and the devil. Excuse me. Some people say when I sneeze or wipe my nose, it don't look good. But I'm not a robot, friends. I'm a human being. And I'm speaking from my mind, not my heart. Okay? And with the will of God Almighty, justice shall prevail. I am not blaming the young man. But if these things that were said about him is true, then he need to be off the job immediately until a proper investigation is carried out. I also was made to understand, it's alleged, that some ministers said to him to give the woman family $10 million. Well, young lady, the father and mother of you, if they are hearing, if that is true, I think you should not take it. Because your family are entitled to hundreds of millions of dollars, because if it is true and not lie on this young man, then the government is liable for a lawsuit that can give you hundreds of millions and a change for the Amerindian community. And that is when you all Amerindian must come together and claim 45 to 50% of the natural resources of their country. You cannot go to India, China, Africa, and Europe and demand anything. That's Englishman owned, Indian owned, African owned, and Chinese owned. Your own is Guyana. I share your pain. And I wonder, what is the UN and CARICOM doing about it? But again, who is in CARICOM? The great-grandchildren of slaves and a few cheap laborers. So I don't think they may want to rock that boat too much, because it may capsize and they may go down under the ocean. But it's a tickling situation. If they have God in them, decency, and they're honorable enough, even if the boat have to sink, so let it be. What is right must be right. But for all you ministers who use your office to lock up your opponent, send criminal element to kill them, your days are coming when you will answer, because those criminals will speak out. And for those criminals who already killed for ministers or people in government or corrupt businessmen, if you're still alive, I beg you to get out of the country quick before they kill you. Because Roma has it that fine man was killing for politician and corrupt businessman, and it's alleged that was the Roman, and they slaughter him because he mustn't talk. It's alleged again the young man they just shoot up in Madhya or the back of Madhya or wherever. They say he was to kill two people in the political circle. That's why he was released. Again, it's alleged. And because he refused, he became a wanted man. Well, I want to warn you killers. If you kill for businessmen and politicians, they will tell people who will call your name, you may dead and gone, but you have family. Not everybody going to take it because you're wiping them all out. It's fair, they got to wipe yours out. I have seen it in many countries. I've been to 87 countries. I don't count islands. I want you to know. And the United States have to understand the world are changing. It is better to have friends, Biden, than have enemy. Look at Guyana. Mr. Imran Ali, the president, as I think he should be more open-minded, went into Brazil, our neighboring country, shook hands or they came to him, it's alleged. And he also went, I think, to Russia or China or India, I don't know, somewhere he went. And these are the countries that is trying America to change the currency and trade with the currency. China, India, two nations that are having border dispute like Guyana and Venezuela and so on, coming together to spend with the Chinese money, and South Africa, Russia, China, India, Brazil, and moreover, Saudi Arabia. And Mr. Ali went there. But Mr. Ali should read the Monroe Doctrine or get a clipping from Geneva, what was signed after World War II. America shall not, will not, would not allow fascist or communism or dictatorism into this hemisphere unless they make the dictator themselves. So it's time for America to wake up. And those countries from Mexico to Argentina, from South Africa to Egypt or wherever, you overthrow government or have hands in it, remove the corruptor and put the one the people want, so you could bring friends to the shore of America and work together for humanity instead of destroying each other, and none of us would be here. My friends, I wonder that story in Madhya with the 20 kids that died and many more fighting for their life. If the young man that was accused for the brutal sex act against his Amerindian 15-year girl is true, then I call upon all thinking Guyanese, Indian and black, Portuguese, Chinese and others to close Guyana down for a day. Let the government see you are the people with the voice. You all have daughters. You all would not want that to happen to them. You all will not want that to happen to them. So I call upon you. Let's unite for a better Guyana, prosperity, unity, and together we can make that one Guyana. Because Guyana belongs to all 6 races, especially the indigenous people. So I'm calling on the government of CARICOM, heads of states, to call for an investigation into the Madhya tragedy and to look into the young girl allegation against the man. He might be innocent, but if he's not, as is alleged, then he have a right to get off the job until a proper investigation is carried out. And if it is a proven fact, according to the allegation, it's alleged that a minister told him, give the Amerindian family $10 million, then such ministers also must be off the job, because you cannot involve in corruption and obstructing judicial system. And if you are the leader of the country, the ministers as advisors or messengers, I don't think you should be involved in espionage. What do you think? I'm asking a question here now. If you are working in favor of the development of the country and the prosperity and unity, I don't think you should be a part of someone trying to get rid of another nation or exploit them or enslave them. That's my philosophy, that's my opinion. Many of you might say I am wrong. I'm not accusing anybody. And the young girl that is charged with that 20 trial of death and a mattress, I would like to prove to the Vice President, Mr. Ali, the opposition leader, that I will burn 2 mattresses in H&L Kisoon if you all want me to do it, and show you it won't burn the whole building down, especially a concrete building. It was something else. But getting to this young Amerindian 15-year girl, where I'm seeing where she exposing all these things, I hope no one coaxes her to lie. As I said again, women could lie. Money can make you do things that you're not supposed to do. But if it is true, all you who have daughters should stand up against it. This is not a black and Coolie struggle. It's a national struggle, an international matter towards women. You Indian love to beat your wife, accuse them, and kill them, and a few blacks. If you don't want the bloody woman, let her go and go your way in peace. Today happens to be a day given to all Father. And everybody see me on the street. Happy Father's Day, George. But I reply, once a father, always a father. No day is special, for all have his ups and downs. So, when you see a deadbeat father, tell him I, George Corai, said that day belonged to him. Happy Father's Day, because he loved to be in the Breeders' Club, call himself child father. And the illiterate woman, the mother of the child, that's my child father or my baby father, is nothing but a bloody parasite and a sperm donor. So for you young women, come to yourself. Another thing, I was made to understand a lot of AIDS virus is in Guyana, herpes, and other diseases. And yet for all also, I was made to understand again, a lot of big men got their wife messing around these young teenage women who going after them because of money, big life, but may not realize that the man might be having a disease can wipe them out completely from the generation and out of society. So you young women, I urge you in the name of God, do not mess around with a man before you get AIDS, syphilis, and other venereal disease that will end your life, and then you will be spreading it around like if you have a restaurant or a cook shop. So I ask the government here today, if anyone have this disease, herpes, also AIDS, get a special silver band that must put on their hand that only a welder can put it on. So anywhere people see them, they must know them, because Guyana disease will be wiped out because of the trading of young women, the human trafficking. Young women all over is being prostituted in the house of Guyana. Please. I heard policemen got whorehouse and liquor store, and their wife are working in the courthouse. Look into it. It's alleged. So my friends, I have nothing against no one, but we tried the black. It was chaos, misery, and other disaster. We tried the Indian. It's a different kind of disease and killing, flooding. Now there's a lot of fire. But one thing I have to congratulate y'all for in Guyana, y'all got the best magician. A man stay in the prison in breakdown, in the lockup, and burn the bloody place down. And how he come out, I don't know. And how he get back in, I don't know. So people patrolling the Essequibo coast, taking fuel into the military place or wherever, and was attacked by the Venezuelan gunboat, as it is alleged, I would say. And a lot of bullets was fired, destroy all the barrels, but no explosion. What a great magician. A story for the storybooks. Guyana is a land of many stories. Like they say, many things. But my friends, he who feels it knows it. So I call upon the international community, CARICOM, to look into human trafficking in Guyana. I don't care how many drugs y'all sell. If everybody can use drugs and lose everything they got, that's their business. But human trafficking, kidnapping young women, it's a crime penalty by death. And if anybody involved in it, I ask you to report it and save yourself. And let it be known, you may kill people's family. You are not the only killers they got. Not everybody gonna wait and God, some of us will send you to meet him. And if they don't get you, like Ramjatan attacked my son and locked him up wrongfully, and did not have the paper on to this day to show what the investigators said, and I know he lied. But don't worry, Ramjatan. Our hands won't touch you. You shall run mad in the city of Guyana, and your children them shall eat the filth that cometh from their ass, and your generation to follow. All of them, your sister children, your in-laws and cousins, unless they came out to condemn your behavior. All who done wrong will suffer. So with this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm calling for an investigation in that young woman allegation. She might be lying. She might be speaking the truth. I'm not accusing the man. But I think he should be off the job until a proper investigation is carried out. And if the young woman is right, then such a man do not need to be among society. And for the young woman, friends and family who are hearing this, $10 million it was offered to you, reject it or take it and report it, because he was an agent of the government, which you can entitle to sue for hundreds of millions. All right? So come on, Mr. Ali. Don't make no mistake with this. Right, Bharat? For the Pharaoh is died and gone. The Caesar, the Napoleon, the Alexander the Great, the King Charles, Queen Elizabeth, the great man Muammar Gaddafi, a great leader. But all because of the money he was trying to change and help Africa. That was the problem of Mr. Gaddafi. And all Amerindians have a right to land in the country any way they want, once it's not usable. And the citizens of Guyana should get land before any foreigners, because they were the one who tried to develop it. Then others can get, like Gaddafi says, his parents will not get a house or a piece of land until every Libyan get one. That's the kind of leader we need. And I saw a documentary the other day with a girl from Africa in Holland walking in Amsterdam, and the Prime Minister was with his briefcase walking at her side. I will release it to you some other time. And they were laughing and talking. No bodyguard. What a blessing. And there's an Arab leader who rides his horse with no bodyguard into the city of his country. I wouldn't name it, but he walk amongst them. He loved race horse. Some of his horse value millions. And for the people in Kuwait, let it be known to you, I, George Correa, as George Khan, George Emmanuel, whatever, a man with many names like Goddess, Bhagwan, Allah, and whatever you want to call him, God. So, I had launched a protest against Saddam Hussein in 72nd Street, if I remember right. I am met your ambassador in Washington. I will be looking unto you for assistance to help the poor in Guyana and also in Ghana. And for all who are listening, good wishing be to all of you, your friends and family. And for the corrupt Indian businessmen who are paying criminals to beat people, take away their land, surveyor pulling out pole, people pulling out pole, I want Mr. Ali to make a law. Anyone get caught doing that, or it is proven that that has been done, the man who fighting the man and done that must lose his property and be executed. The surveyor who involved in doing that nonsense also, so be it. The judges and lawyers and prosecutors and all who's a part of it to deny a man his rights, for how long he's on the face of the earth, so must be unto them. For every man should have equal rights and justice. I do not think that none of us will outlive each other the way how things are going. But Mr. Ali, I heard your speech. You say if that man who's been accused of the Amerindian thing will be dealt with according to the law. I am looking forward to see it. And I would like you to open an investigation of Mr. Ramjatan. I will give you the message. And let it be known, Ramjatan, We want justice and we will get it. So help me God. We will get it. Even if it's on our dying bed, we will get it. So you get that letter and give it to Kaichor News. What your investigator say, my son pled guilty, when the lawyer in Providence, also a AFC member, play game. And the magistrate, we have all of your name. But I call on the U.S., once these names have been given up to you and Canada and America, they must not be given a visa to leave the country. And CARICOM not to house anyone for political asylum that break the laws in Guyana and destroy humanity and deny justice. Let's unite and save CARICOM, and Guyana could be the stepping stone for all brothers and sisters in the Caribbean and Africa and India, where the Caribbean and Guyana begins from, with indigenous people. May God be with every one of you. Long live democracy. Long live freedom for every one of you. But Mr. Ali, once again, due respect to you, I appreciate if you can look into the man matter carefully, because somebody can be lying on him. But if it is true, let justice begin. And there's nothing strange in Guyana. So for you to kill us, if you've been hired by a corrupt businessman or a politician to kill or burn, I beg you, don't tell them no. Take it and go to any embassy and the news like Kaichori Glenlal and expose it and ask for political asylum for you and your family before the multitude of vagabonds destroy your family. And for you young women, speak now or forever you all will suffer. You young women, be careful with these old men. They may have AIDS, syphilis, herpes, and give it to you. And you will be sharing it to others. You will be a walking destructive disease that will get out of control. So I call upon the Department of Health to look into it seriously. Because I was told by a foreigner that Guyana is filled with the AIDS virus and other disease to compare with racism, corruption, and obstruction of justice. Now, it's all alleged because America got criminal activity. And as you can see, if Donald Trump could stand trial and being convicted for so many counts, and Lula in Brazil, and many other leaders in South and Central America and other parts of the world, Guyana is not exception to the rules of law. So my friends, let's unite. If Ali is doing good, as I see, he's doing a lot of good, but he got a lot of square pegs in wrong hole. And for the Attorney General, I don't know how true it is, Mr. Nandalal, congratulations to your new birth, if it is true, as I saw something like that in the paper. And I will use, this is alleged again, because in Guyana we don't know what's the truth anymore. And therefore, I call upon the priests, the pandits, the imam, to do what is right for the nation, for we will be judged by Allah Ta'ala, Bhagwan or God. So therefore, let's hold hands and put Guyana forward, and justice belongs to each and every one. As C.N. Sharma says, justice for all. And I am your host, George Correa. And please subscribe to my channel so you will get the update. Thank you, and may God be with all of you. Goodbye. How many people are looking at that shit now?
You got 12 views at most. You got 5 people watching at a time. At around 5 minutes. No, at 5:30. 20 minutes in the stream at 5 people. dropped off 5 minutes later.